Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the Voice of Truth. Well, the Republican National Convention 2020 begins tonight. And we have the schedules for you, basically who is going to be appearing and kind of what the schedule is. We won't be able to cover all of the schedule, but we're going to give you a general idea of what is going to be going on. The theme of this year's convention, honoring the great American story. Monday, they're going to be talking about the land of promise. Tuesday, land of opportunity. Wednesday, land of heroes. Thursday, land of greatness. Who are the speakers? The party is likely to announce far more speakers than are already public, and most of the speakers it has announced do not have a set day on which they will speak. But the Trump campaign has shared the First Lady Melania Trump will speak Tuesday night. Vice President Mike Pence will speak Wednesday, and President Trump will speak on Thursday for his acceptance of the nomination for the President of the United States of America. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton's campaign also confirmed to Fox News Saturday that he will be speaking on Thursday evening about China, foreign policy, and Joe Biden. Other speakers are Senator Tim Scott from South Carolina, Republican of South Carolina, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, Senator Joni Ernst, Republican from Iowa, Governor Kristi Noem, Republican from South Dakota, Lieutenant Governor Janet Nunez, and just for a few. But we're going to move on to say a little bit about the party platform. What's happening with the party platform? The party current platform, which was adopted at the convention in Cleveland, Ohio 4 years ago, contains outdated references such as condemnations of current president, who at the time was President Barack Obama. The platform also includes language opposing same-sex marriage and is supportive of gay conversion therapy. On the other hand, it does not include references to newer issues like movement to defund police, supported by the many on the left and vehemently opposed by most Republicans. So it's going to be an interesting time during this Republican National Convention. I'm going to be excited to see how things evolve in this situation in the RNC convention. Okay, moving on. This is, we're talking about Steve Bannon, who was arrested. Let's just talk about that. I had another part of the story I'm going to read, but I'm going to share something else because this is, I don't know, for some reason they continue to mention that he was found on a $28 million yacht. I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. And this is owned by a Chinese billionaire, which is kind of interesting to me. To me, it's just kind of trying to make it look like that some people involved with President Trump was also involved with China. They're trying to drum up a conspiracy that really has nothing to do with President Trump because he fired Steve Bannon in 2017. Steve Bannon said the fiasco indictment aims to stop border wall construction. Steve Bannon pleads not guilty to fraud charges in a New York court. A defiant Steve Bannon claimed Thursday that his bombshell indictment on fraud and money laundering charges was a fiasco caused by people who want to block the construction of the border. As he walked out of the Manhattan Federal Courthouse to Lower Manhattan Thursday, Bannon ripped off his surgical mask before claiming to members of the press that this entire fiasco is to stop people who want to build the wall. And I'm inclined to believe him. About 2 hours before he emerged from court, Bannon pleaded not guilty to fraud and money laundering charges related to an alleged scheme he and 3 other people ran to line their pockets with cash donated to We Build the Wall online fundraiser. The charges were brought by Southern District of New York prosecutors who work for the Federal Department of Justice. Surprise, surprise. Somebody who was headed up the Justice Committee is the DOJ. It's full of Democrats right now, and the things that are going on that are very crazy in the Democratic Congress. Bannon was let go on a $5 million bond, which was secured by $1.75 million in assets. He was met by a handful of vocal supporters waving flags for the new federal state of China government in exile that was cooked up earlier this year by Bannon and pal Goyo Wingy, on whose yacht Bannon was arrested Thursday. William Farrington, Southern District of New York prosecutors work for the Federal Department of Justice, alleged the former chief strategist for President Trump pocketed $1 million in contributions meant for construction of projects funneled through a nonprofit under his control. This is 20, and of course he goes, and I don't know what, he keeps talking about his yacht, $28 million yacht, yeah, well, whatever. He's charged with 3 other people, including the founder of fundraiser Purple Heart recipient Brian Colbert, attacking a veteran now. Colbert allegedly spent the illegally obtained cash on lavish lifestyle, buying up luxury items including a boat, jewelry, and cosmetic surgery, prosecutors said Thursday. Now we're going to see, and we'll watch this, and we'll be watching this case to see where it's headed to, because if it's anything else like a lot of the cases they come up with, it's probably going to head to a dead end, because it's probably just something as Bannon said, a fiasco, something that they just cooked up. Okay, well, we're going to take a short break back now, and you're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. We'll be right back with you in a moment.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. In other news, the ACLJ FOA win. Court rejects deep state's refusal to deny existence of unmasking records. Debunks the left's attempts to distort the truth. This is an article by Jay Sekulow several weeks ago. In the ACLJ, pairs of unmasking lawsuits under the Freedom of Information Act, a federal district court just issued a critical opinion giving us a partial but significant win, he said. According to the court, the State Department may no longer refuse to deny the existence of records of Obama administration senior official Samantha Powers' unmasking activity involving Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, a list of which the National Security Agency declassified in May. While many outlets reported that Power had been involved in an inordinately high number of unmasking requests at the end of the Obama administration, some on the left had tried to downplay these actions by saying they were done by low-level staffers under Power name and not by Power herself. Friday's decision by the federal district court makes it clear that all unmasking requests made under Power's name can properly be attributed to Power herself. This is so in part because unmasking actions taken by subordinates are indeed actions taken by principals. This is bad news for the deep state, as former Vice President Joe Biden and President Obama's Chief of Staff were also principals identified on the list of those who were subordinates made unmasking requests. Now, a federal court has recognized that the principals are responsible for the unmasking actions. Moving on, here is what we reported, he says, in the past about this lawsuit. Among other Obama administration officials, former ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, made numerous requests seeking unmasking or unredacted identification of names and other information about members of the Trump campaign team whose communication had been incidentally caught up in intelligence surveillance efforts. Power's requests, reported to a number in the hundreds, occurred mostly in final days of Obama administration. That is between the election of President Trump in November 6, 2016 and his inauguration in 2017. In 2017, the ACLJ submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the National Security Agency and the State Department in an effort to get to the root of this disturbing story. We were forced to take these FOIA requests to court for enforcement, Jordan says. Then, when the acting director of the National Intelligence, Richard Grenell, declassified an NSA memorandum in May listing various principals who had been in court as evidence of official acknowledgement that the records exist, which can legally be waived the agency's ability to make the Gomer response. I'm not going too much in this Gomer response. They keep repeating this, and I don't really have a lot of information on that. But the main thing is the ACLJ will be back in court on August 25th, which is tomorrow, as this case moves forward, as the court ordered the parties to appear for a status conference on August 25th. Well, we're going to take a short break right now. We'll be right back with you in a moment here on the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth.
Joe Biden, 47 years in Washington, 47 years of failure, skyrocketing healthcare and drug prices, higher taxes on working families, disastrous trade deals, jobs shipped to China and Mexico, total failure. Now Biden's embraced the failed policies of the radical left, the biggest tax increase ever, massive job-killing regulations, amnesty for illegal immigrants. After 47 years of failure, we've had more than enough.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. We're going to, right now what we're going through in the government, we're having our Republican National Convention last week. We had the Democratic National Convention as well. But right now I want to extend the offer to you. Our program, we are looking for advertisers or sponsors. Our rates are very low. We're at least 40% low the marketplace in regard to ads to be placed on during this program and also on our other programs. Please contact our email there at the bottom of the screen if you're interested in advertising with your business or even with your political campaign. We are here to serve you as the true or CTM News, the voice of truth. Right now, we're moving on right now with another story here that we've been hearing recently in the news, and that is Joe Biden faces a new plagiarism claim over the DNC speech that he made a few nights ago. President Obama also plagiarized Winston Churchill's speech as well. I heard it for myself. With the speeches side by side going, I heard this. I actually heard it. I was amazed what he said because he repeated the speech word for word. Now, he's done some other speeches that he's left, used different parts of it, but on this particular speech that I witnessed, he used the whole Winston Churchill's speech. Anyway, these things prove that there are very few original thinkers left in Washington, D.C. President Trump is an original thinker, and he surrounds himself with original thinkers. Now you see who Barack Obama surrounded himself with in his administration, i.e., Vice President Joe Biden is one. Birds of a feather flock together. I'm going to share some words from Hal Gordon, former speechwriter at Reagan White House and for General Colin Powell. I think I got enough time to pretty much share most of this, so I'm going to go ahead and try to get it all in here. Not all of it, but some of it I have to leave out because I don't have enough time for it. But in 1987, for example, Senator Joe Biden plagiarized a speech from British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock, and the slip may well have cost him the Democratic nomination for the presidency. Why is it, he asked in a speech he gave in Iowa, that Joe Biden is the first in his family ever to go to university? Why is it that my wife is the first in her family to ever go to college? Is it because our fathers and mothers were not bright? This speech is, Is it because they didn't work hard? My ancestors, this is what he stole. My ancestors who worked in the coal mines of northeast Pennsylvania and would come after 12 hours and play football for 4 hours, it's because they didn't have a platform on which to stand. You know, this almost sounds as confusing as some of the things he's saying nowadays. So this man, I don't know, maybe he's not losing it, maybe he's been lost it a long time ago. Neil Kinnock, a descendant of the Welsh coal miners, had given the original speech, and Biden changed just a few words. Was this plagiarism? Even Biden tactfully admitted that it was, because on several previous occasions when he used those lines, he had given credit to Kinnock. It was only on that occasion in Iowa that he quoted the lines without attribution. Attribution to his everlasting Krager. I don't know what the heck that is. If you're going to steal something that has been stolen a few times before. Hal Gordon says, nor to the best of my knowledge did anyone accuse Franklin Roosevelt or John F. Kennedy of plagiarizing the most famous lines associated with each of them. FDR's most famous line was, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Goes back to at least as far as 1580 to an essay by Michael de Montague, I think it is. The thing of which I have most feared is fear. In 1623, Sir Francis Bacon expressed the same idea during the Democratic primaries in 2008. For example, some top people in Hillary Clinton's campaign accused then Senator Barack Obama of plagiarism because he lifted some lines from a speech given the previous year by his friend Deval Patrick, governor of Massachusetts. And here's the quote, "Don't tell me words don't matter," Obama told a Wisconsin audience. "I have a dream, just words. We hold these truths to be self-evident. That's all men are created equal, just words. We have nothing to fear but fear itself, just words, just speeches." That's really what we're dealing with. They're all just speeches. The problem is about that last statement. It's just, I don't know, it's old. I mean, you can use it, like it says, it's been repeated over and over again. But Deval Patrick used identical language during the 2006 race for governor. Patrick said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Just words, he said twice. We have nothing to fear but fear itself, just words. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Just words. And I have a dream, according to them, that was just words. Do we really want these Democrats in the White House? They're saying the words of people that even in their own party, people that accomplish great things in their own party, they're saying that they're just running off their mouth. They're just words, what they're saying. And even they're talking about the Bible here in one part. In reply to Clinton's camp charges, Senator Obama retorted that he hadn't complained when Senator Clinton said it's time to turn the page, or that she's fired up and ready to go, or otherwise use the same stock language used by him, and with that, the controversy died. So is there no such thing as plagiarism in political speech? Hal says, I wouldn't go that far. More recently, in September of 2005, former Vice President Al Gore committed a blatant theft from Winston Churchill, speaking at the Clinton Global Initiative in New York City. Gore warned that the Hurricane Katrina was just a sample of the natural disasters that we could expect as a result of global warming. Katrina, he intoned, is the first sip, the first taste of a bitter cup that will offered to us over and over again. So what's the takeaway for speechwriters? I'd say there are two ways to avoid charges of plagiarism. The first is safest is to be original. The second is this: if you're going to steal something that has been stolen a few times before. Very good words, Mr. Gordon. Those are good words about plagiarism. And like I said, he is a known speechwriter. But we're excited. The Republican Party, the Republican National Convention, the Democratic National Convention received few viewers as they put that on. It was pretty much, it's like most people say, hey, we're tired, we're going to watch this. But I guarantee you, this Republican National Convention is going to be exciting. And look for the surprise. I didn't tell you about that. Every night at 10 o'clock, there's going to be a surprise. So be looking out. There's going to be a surprise of some type. I don't know if it's a surprise guest or whatever. It could be a surprise giveaway. I don't know. But I want to just thank you right now for your time, for joining me here on a Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. I'll be seeing you on Tuesday night here on the CTM News Network to talk a bit about the Republican National Convention. Once again, I want to say to you, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. Thank you. This is David Colbert saying good night.